Dorian and Zach at practice today?
Yes.
Okay. Are they
Available.
They are available. All right, that's good news. Let's see. What were your takeaways from watching the film?
We got a lot of guys in. I think we had 88 players played on Saturday. So, we talk about all the time, there's a difference between practice and a game. So there's an opportunity for guys to get quality game reps. We got it on film. So, we had a really good film session this morning with all those guys, just to get a chance to show them, actual game footage of them playing in college football games. So we were excited about that. There's still obviously things in all three phases that have to be fixed and addressed. And that's what kind of every Monday is about. We do an after action, kind of what we did well and what do we got to continue to work on. And then we jump right into our next performance out there. So I was pleased with what we did. But there's still a lot of things we can get better at, and that whole line's getting better, as a group playing together. The left side's new, with Leo and Raekwon out there, and those guys are starting to get a little bit more familiar with each other. Johnny played really well for us at right guard. Duke did a really good job at center. Garrett's doing a really nice job for us. So, it's just a combination of working your combinations and getting guys to get a really good understanding of how they work together as a group. We'll continue to grow. So we're where we want to be after two. We want to be 2-0 going into the third game. And now it's this will be the best opponent we've played to date. It's a really good football team coming in here. They're 2-0 themselves. They had a big win over Central Michigan and really did a really good job against Central Michigan last Saturday. So we're very aware of what South Alabama is bringing in here on Saturday.
How did it work with him? Did he have to get cleared before you said you wanted him, or did you take him and then he get cleared medically?
We sent all this stuff to the medical staff when he went into the portal, and then we got confirmation from our medical staff in terms of where he was. But obviously, you're not going to recruit a kid that can't play, so I think our medical staff felt good about what they got from him, and then they monitored him on it.
How I know I asked this after the game, but when you see a player who basically thought his career was over come back and contribute the way he did, it's kind of like a spine-tingling story, right?
It was awesome for him, and if you've seen how hard and understand how hard he's worked to get back, it was refreshing. He's a great young man. We got to know him really well in the recruiting process the first time, and then he opted to go to Washington the first time, but then I think his relationship with the Kuiper was huge. And the fact that we got him the second time, I loved him the first time we recruited him. But, for him to get another opportunity, I think he really counts his blessings. We come up with 2 sacks and a forced fumble, in his second college game back was a pretty big deal. So really, really happy for not to. But like anything in this game, you get it because you work for it and you deserve it, and he deserved, what has happened to him, and hopefully he'll continue to grow from there.
How was it along those same lines, spine tingling kind of thing? How was it for the program in general to get some guys to have their first experience on the field, first touch of the ball, overall as a program?
It's not very often you can come in on a Sunday and have to grade 88 guys, in terms of giving them an opportunity to play. A lot of those guys have been key contributors to us from the Scouts Youth Camp, right? But for them to get the award to be able to go out and play in the Rose Bowl, it's pretty cool, and to see the smiles on some of their faces. And, we have a backup kicker, Ari Levinson, who's filled in as a scout team wide receiver and does an unbelievable job. It was a great effort. And, he got a couple of snaps at wide receiver on Saturday. It was awesome to see, see the joy in his face, and everything that he's done out here and contributed to the success of this football team. That he actually gets to get a college football game at the Rose Bowl and play was a pretty cool experience. So it was awesome for him. And there's so many other ones. Christian Grubb coming back off a season-ending injury a year ago to come back and contribute and show some flashes in there that you hope you could build upon. Continue to see Christian grow. But there's a bunch of guys that Colson, who missed a year ago with a foot, the back, got a chance to play. He's been moved to a new position, but for him to get some opportunities there, and then to see some of the true freshmen get an opportunity to go play the game was pretty special.
Can that have a carryover effect in practice? Because obviously practice can be drudgery for fourth stringers who don't get to play in a game, and so if they get to play and get excited and come out back out here on Monday and maybe with a more juice.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's what you hope for. That those guys understand that their hard work gets rewarded. And really how how your substitution pattern work gets rewarded. You know, when you take your starters out, who's the next group to go in, and then we were fortunate after the next group went in, then we could get to another group of people there. But you know, you're really fighting every day for your spot and opportunity if it does come around. You know, can you play? You know, and some of the guys isn't because you play, not because of the score of the game, but because of injury. You know, I know 2 years ago during COVID when we're playing an overtime game against Stanford and Kobe Fitzgerald's out there at inside linebacker for us because we had gotten pretty beat up at depth at inside linebacker. But over the course of the season, you watch him as a scout squad player continue to make plays and do things is that, you know, felt comfortable enough to put him in a game in a critical situation because of what he did here in the practice field. So, but I think that's a good point. Those guys understanding, you know, that practice time really reflects on playing time, and that your playing time is earned when you come out here. And the fact that we had 88 guys that got a chance to play on Saturday, you know, I think that just gives them a little bit of a shot that, hey, let's continue to grow on this thing and see if we can get more opportunities when our time comes on Saturday.
On Saturday, after the game, you talked a little bit about Alabama State's RPOs were giving you a little bit of trouble. Did you see that on film, and what exactly did you see?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were there in coverage. I thought that their quarterback did an outstanding job. You know, it wasn't like there was a guy just running clean down the field. You know, it wasn't the drop back game. You know, it was most of their completions came off of the RPO things. I think it was really good ball placement. You know, I think we can do some things leverage-wise with our underneath players to try to take some things away. But again, I just saw really good execution on their part.
So Christian Grubb does track, I believe. John does baseball. Do you have any other dual sport athletes on this team?
Not currently that I know. I know Kaz was a track kid earlier in his career. You know, a couple of those guys have come back and forth there, but those are the only two right now.
Is that something you encourage, the dual sport thing?
Yeah, as long as they have the ability to do it and it doesn't interfere with their academic progress, then we have no issue. You know, so when in the beginning, we recruited both John and Christian as dual sport athletes, and the other sports, baseball and track, were involved in that recruiting process.
Do you see a benefit to?
I've always seen a benefit in it. You know, the track is a very easy one. You know, if they go to track practice, you know, they become more explosive and faster, and that's always beneficial to being a football player. But I also, you know, our job is to help develop young men, and if developing someone like John, you know, what's his career? Is he a professional baseball player? Is he a professional football player? Well, I'm not going to make that decision for him or tell him he has to make that decision as a 17, 18-year-old kid coming out of high school. So, you know, that's up to him. But if he's good enough to play on our baseball team and participate, and he is, you know, then more power to him. And there's been a few in the past. It's hard. You know, I tip my cap to those guys. It's a hard for you academically in the coursework. You're really in season year round, you know, and that's the difference. We have an off season in football. If you're a football baseball player, you don't really have an off season. The off season of baseball is right now, but John's playing football, so it's a credit to him, but it's also a credit to his athletic ability and his mindset in terms of wanting to be successful in both.
Do you have a way, the Murphy twins are not wearing their jersey numbers, do you have a way to tell them apart? If they're in the meeting room or something?
Gabe and Grayson?
Yeah. What, I'm sorry?
Yeah. I was confused at your question because they're usually wearing their jerseys. So
right, but they're in the meeting room and they don't.
They usually wear their jerseys in the meeting room zone because we have our underneath practice jerseys have their numbers on them too. So that's a cheap deal that you can do a little bit.
If they're walking into the facility or something.
Murph works good.
One of them has more on their hair.
Their hair's a little bit different.
Yeah,
when you look at them.
Just giving you a clue there.
I'm a big Murph guy, so and very rarely are they apart. You know, I've never seen. You know, you hear about identical twins, but where there's one, there's the other, and those two guys there's a bond that's pretty unique with those two kids. They're special. So
is that why you play them together a lot?
No, that we play them together because they've earned that. They're both really, really good football players. And so, you know, I think as we continue to grow here as a group, you'll see more because of what they can do. So.
And we saw Logan take punt returns there in the second game. What did you see out of him that, you know?
No, he's a short-handed kid. He just wasn't available in game one. You know, he's a guy that's been working as a punt returner since we got him here. You know, really kind of backed up Kyle from that standpoint. He does a good job back there. He's athletic enough to make people miss. He probably wants the one back that he caught on the 5. You know, we got to put our feet on the 10-yard line and not back up. But, you know, it was good that we got an opportunity to get another guy back there and get some quality returns. You know, because you can't have enough people back there. But the biggest thing is you feel really confident when he's back there that he's going to catch a football. and not let it bounce around and give you those situations where the ball, bounces on the 18 and rolls down inside the 5. He's going to make sure he fields every catch because he's really sure-handed. So wasn't available in game 1. It was good that he was available in game 2.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right.